There's a look at Megan Fudge, part of the top-seeded duo of Fudge and Susanna Barr. Fudge making her home in Florida, not that far from Miami, alongside her husband, Ryler DeHart, playing in the men's doubles as well. 28 medals last year on tour for Fudge, the second most of any player behind Andre Diescu. Fudge's partner, Susanna Barr, out of Boise, Idaho, just opened her own pickleball facility as well 4 months ago. 11 APP golds last year. That is fourth most. Those two women, some of the top players on tour. They were so good as a pair last year, especially towards the end. What do you expect to see from them here in this matchup?
Well, I mean, again, it comes down to, we talk about early in the season and familiarity with your partners. They played all of 2023 together. They're familiar with the movement. They understand, who's taking middle, what the sequences are going to be, and that is such an advantage right now early in the season when everybody's still trying to figure things out. What I'll look for is for Fudge to be a little bit more controlling of that ball in the middle, but it's going to be Barr that is going to be setting her up with the strong cross-court dings.
Fudge, the German native, that makes her home in Bel Air, Florida. On the other side of the net, Ariel Butler and Carolina Lopez Ascarate. There's Lopez Ascarate there. These two have moved through the bracket in straight games. 47 years old is Lopez Ascarate. We have seen that emergence of these players that had that previous experience. They're able to extend their professional lives. Ariel Butler, 28 years old. The Searcy, Arkansas native, not far from where I am, up in Little Rock, just about 45 miles up the road, now calls Milwaukee, Wisconsin home. These two maybe unexpected into the quarterfinals, but Dom, you saw Butler particularly early on in this tournament. You've been really impressed with the way that she's been playing. Yeah,
Ariel Butler been playing really well right now. I watched them play Heather Nobler and Shelby Bates in the last round, and Butler playing very solid. She's playing that right side. The forehand dink is one of her strengths. She likes to hug that kitchen line, take that ball out of the air, not allow her opponent much time. But going cross-court, it's going to be her and Susanna Barr, forehand to forehand. Barr does the same thing. She likes to hug that kitchen line, take that ball out of the air. They played against each other in mixed doubles, did Susanna Barr and Ariel Butler. Barr and Hunter Johnson came out on top of that one over Anderson Scarpa and Ariel Butler. So familiar with each other this weekend. But Lopez Ascarate, she is the X factor here as far as players go, because not a lot of knowledge on her.
Known quantity.
Yeah, exactly. I will say this. Look out for power.
Yes.
She, extensive tennis background. And one thing we know from the players that are a little bit more vertically challenged, that they have balls that are in the strike zone much longer than a taller player, and they speed a lot of those balls up.
Similar to Bobby Oshiro we had last night, right? Bobby Oshiro, not that tall, but she packs a punch.
That low center of gravity, center mass, as you all so often talk about. Paddle checks in the center of the court. When you're playing a team like a Fudge and a Barr who have been together for so long, so consistent in what they do, how do you disrupt them when you're on the other side of the net?
Get them fighting for the middle ball. And then once, let's say Fudge starts coming over and trying to take that middle ball a little bit more, then it opens up the ability to go behind. If you can push Barr away from the kitchen line with strong aggressive dinks that she's not able to take out of the air, then Fudge has to start stepping in and taking more. It's almost playing it very similar to mixed doubles, where you're taking that left side player out of play, which is typically the male. Here, you almost have to do the same thing as push Barr back, have Fudge come over a little bit more, open up behind. But the big thing that we have to be careful of, and what she's known for, is Barr's offensive lob. Because once you do start pushing her back, get ready for a steady stream of lobs going over the left shoulder.
If you've never watched Susanna Barr play, the two things to know: offensive lobs and phenomenal third shot drops. That is what Susanna Barr does best. Dom, on the mental side of it, and we'll use March Madness as an example, obviously Barr and Fudge, they're a top seed. Is there more pressure on them against a team like a Butler and a Lopez Ascarate, where really you're playing free. You have nothing to lose in this scenario.
Well, exactly. Your target's on the 1 seed's back, right? It's always like that. So again, when the 1 seed is there and they have that target on their back, that's where you could run into trouble. And especially in a tense situation where it's you win or you go home. And that's exactly what happens here. So again, yes, the pressure right now is on Fudge and Barr. Butler, Lopez Ascarate, they need to play free and easy and just go for it.
Fudge and Barr won a bronze in Sacramento. They want it to be gold this week here in Miami. Players going to finish warming up, and we will be back with women's doubles quarterfinal action. You're watching the Chase APP Miami Pickleball Open on ESPN.
Introducing Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of the APP Tour. They're ultra lightweight and responsive for incredible speed. They have Goodyear rubber outsoles with a specialized pickleball design for increased side-to-side stability and agility. Plus, they feature shock-absorbing foam and Skechers' famous relaxed fit design for incredible comfort game after game. Conquer the court in comfort. Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of the APP Tour.
At Typical Insurance, you're just another senior.
That is the third health insurance commercial with seniors at a farmer's market.
Right? Don't get me wrong, I love a fresh heirloom, but it's like those companies think we're all the same.
That's why I chose Humana. Before I signed up, I spoke to someone who actually listened to what I needed. She told me about benefits that were right for me, like vision and dental, all in my budget. I finally feel in control. What are you doing?
Taking control.
Humana, a more human way to healthcare.
Welcome back to Championship Court here inside the Miami Convention Center. Megan Fudge and Susanna Barr in the center of your screen in the blue and white, the top seats in the women's doubles bracket. There's Ariel Butler, as Butler and Lopez will be the first to serve, getting a last-minute instruction prior to taking on Barr and Fudge.
We'll see what comes out of that right there.
Pro doubles. 2 out of 3 to 11 on my right, serving.
Fudge and Barr, such good problem solvers regardless of the strategy of their opponents.
Receiving, Susanna Barr, Megan Fudge, 2 out of 3 to 11 by 2.
Best 2 out of 3 to 11, win by 2. Game 1, time in. Ariel Butler to serve at the top of the screen.
I like the start there from Butler. Tests the backhand side of Fudge a couple of times. Keeps her set right there. And just a nice easy roll there to Barr. Catches off the end of the paddle.
Good placement there for Barr for the side out.
Well, right there, the drive down the middle, and that's what you talked about, Chad. Test the middle, too. Try and get Fudge and Barr confused in that middle. Oh,
it's a half lob.
Well, that was just not much pace on that one. So
that was, you paid for the whole paddle, use the whole paddle off the edge. Right?
You knew it was going to come down.
1 all.
Will they take it? Yes, they will.
They all count the same.
Second
serve coming.
A little too much body movement there from Barr on a ball that's just above her ankles.
Nice angle there.
Yeah, super good angle there from Ariel Butler.
Now, I will say this. We talk about the angles all the time with these overheads. The women are the ones that use the angles, and they typically have more overhead putaways than the guys.
Little love off the net cord for Susanna Barr.
Well, even if it doesn't catch the tape right there, that's a clean winner down the middle.
Yeah, but when your nickname is Net Lord, you have to bring the net into play.
Butler and Lopez Ascarate don't want that too much.
Early lob from Barr. Butler able to get to it, but it paid dividends.
Yeah, excellent drop there from Butler on the offensive lob from Barr. Textbook with the lob, but they're trying to come back a little too quickly, get that ball to the feet in the transition area from Fudge.
Barr misses the drop. When your partner has to go back on a lob like Butler did, where should Lopez be in the court?
Typically,
come back with her, but you don't have to go all the way back.
No, typically, mid-transition area. So then you can adjust. If they drop it down, then you move forward. You can cover the kitchen. Right there, Lopez went a little bit further back, so now they're both trying to come in that transition again.
Hands battle won by Lopez.
Well, Fudge trying to flip that ball back through the middle, but Lopez had that figured out nicely. She slides back beautifully, doesn't stay on that sideline. Good pressure right there from Megan Fudge, keeping that ball at the feet of Butler.
And Butler's been able to make a couple of pickups early. That one just a little bit too close.
Oh. Throw up the lob on a ball that typically would be attacked.
But it almost looked like she caught it and threw it up and over. That's how
like
slow motion it was.
Good setup, couple of good overheads. Mixing
Another
things
big
up
drop.
early. Like it.
Not quite as clean of a start as we would have expected from Barr and Fudge. Still feeling each other out here early on in game one as that return sails long.
Well, Butler trying to rush out of this uncoil on the stack. And when you try and rush, a lot of times your body momentum will hit that ball just hard enough that it carries it out, and that's exactly what happened there.
Couple of big drives from Fudge to no avail.
But I'd like to see her drop the next one. She got Lopez back on her heels, drove the first one, then dropped the next one.
Angled put away from Fudge. Second serve on the way.
Yeah, just a little too far coming forward there for Butler on an elevated drive from Lopez. So that's a tough one to really try and get a whole lot of court coverage and movement forward.
Right down the middle.
So it's the same pattern that Fudge did last time, right? Or maybe about 4 or 5 points ago, but she pulled Lopez further over, so the hole was that much bigger in the middle. Better decision on that one from Fudge. Oh.
Too much roll, not enough top spin from Lopez.
We've seen Barr play those many times. Fudge made sure
She
she
listened
did not.
this
She
time.
listened.
She listened this time.
Nice combination for Barr with the backhand winner.
But that's also a tough ball for Lopez there. She comes all the way over in front of Butler to hit that ball. And then what ends up happening is it puts her out of position, and it's difficult for her to try to get back to.
Timeout taken by Butler and Lopez Ascarate as they find themselves trailing the top seed of Susanna Barr and Megan Fudge 1-5 here early on in game number one as we take our Tervis hydration break. As we've seen top seeds go down time and time again throughout this tournament, Barr and Fudge come out looking strong. What's impressed you the most about the way that they've started, Chad?
Well, right now they're mixing things up. They're not staying to a certain pattern. We've seen Barr throw up a couple of lobs, but we've seen Fudge throw up a couple of lobs as well. But it's more so right now it's Fudge's ability to pull Lopez all the way out wide and make the adjustment with that speed up through the middle. We'll look for that to be a little bit more prevalent here as this one goes toward the end of game one.
On the other side of the net, Dom, if you are Lopez and Butler in this situation, what do you need to do coming out of this timeout?
Well, I mean, it's tough right now because, like we said, Fudge and Barr throwing everything at him early on. Pace, drops, lobs, everything. So right now, Lopez and Butler need to find their rhythm. And that's been hard because they're not being allowed to get into a rhythm. So I just say kind of elongate some points. See what you can get. Don't rush.
Longer point right on cue.
A little longer right there, and then a ton of pressure, though. They put a ton of pressure on.
5-1-2.
Oh, she just stood up right through it. I love the spot she was going to go. Hard at the tee on the sideline to pull Susanna Barr wide, but just stood up through it just enough.
Talked about that at length yesterday in the mixed doubles brackets about standing up changes your contact point just enough to put that ball in the net as Fudge puts that away at a sharp angle.
You hit it on it in pregame, Dorian, is that when Susanna Barr's hitting her third shot drop aggressively like that right there, Lopez doesn't know whether to let that bouncer take out of the air. She takes out of the air, pops up. Megan Fudge is crashing. That's an easy put away.
Doesn't make the pickup there. For players who are watching that are newer to the game, you're saying doesn't know on that aggressive dink whether to take it out of the air or let it bounce. Is the correct decision to make it bounce, or does it depend on the matchup of the player?
That one you have to take out of the air, but what you have to do is close the paddle face a little bit more and look for an angle cross court. If you step back and let that ball bounce when it's aggressive, it's going to eat you up and it's going to push you even further back. The issue that Lopez had right there is that she's trying to bump it down the line on an aggressive ball, and you have to open the paddle face too much.
Gets too big there at the line, and all of a sudden, Barr and Fudge up 10-1 with game point here in the first game of the women's quarterfinal. That one sails wide as Barr and Fudge ease their way into a game one victory, 11-1 over Butler and Lopez Ascarate. Game two coming up next here at the Chase APP Miami Pickleball Open.
Nothing brings us together like Eggland's best eggs. We love the taste, always so fresh and delicious, plus superior nutrition. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's best.
is Chef Jamoke Jackson. I'm here with Vlasic Pickles, and I'm putting the pickle back in pickleball. In pickleball, a chop is a slice from high to low to put a backspin on the pickleball. I'm chopping up Vlasic Pickles to make this sweet and savory chopped pickle salad. Feta cheese, Kalamata olives, olive oil, red wine vinegar, lemon juice, sugar, black pepper, toss to mix. Sweet, heat, and full of flavor.
One of the patented Susanna Barr moves is the offensive lob. We saw her throw up a few in game number 1. Why is this offensive lob so effective?
So again, what it does is it pulls your opponent's way back, right? Now look at the space and watch Fudge and Barr here. Look at them hug that kitchen line. Gives Fudge an overhead, and then they control that kitchen line. And now that is from last season, and now fast forward to this season, almost a duplicate right there. Megan Fudge overhead, eventually going to get the angle, and then put away. And again, it was almost duplicated, but again, like Chad said earlier, teams that are familiar with each other, right, they know what each other's going to do. It's almost a set play for them.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
They know what's going to happen. Megan Fudge knows Susanna Barr's going to do that. She knows she's going to hug that line. She can get that overhead.
Game 2 underway after Barr and Fudge, a very business-like 11-1 victory in game number 1.
Point. One, 0-2.
Miscommunication in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, and that was a tough adjustment for Lopez right there to take that ball off the net cord. But in the same sense, she didn't have to come over as far. And I think from game 1 into game 2, an adjustment that Butler and Lopez have to make is that Lopez has to calm the movement down. Allow Butler to play a few more balls.
Fudge putting it right at the feet of Lopez.
Just stretch it back.
A little stretching.
Stretch in the back out.
A little stretching right there. But again, and that's what Fudge and Barr do so well is they just get you and force you to hit one more ball. And then if you get one up to them, eventually they're going to put that ball away.
Right off the edge guard as Butler tried to pull across a little too much.
Just everything going their way right now. They're getting every bounce, even when it looked like Lopez had a put away right there. Barr digs it out.
Overhead put away for Barr right now. The top seed rolling up 5-0 here in game 2.
Yeah, and that's the perfect spot there on the speed up from Fudge. Butler reached in, backhand side, floats it just a little bit, and then Fudge elevates into the right armpit. Nothing that she could do to keep that ball down. Well,
Rolled it just long.
Yeah, this time, though, now you saw that Butler hit a forehand, so where does Fudge go? She goes left shoulder because of the time that it's going to take Butler to get over to that backhand side. Just missed it a little long.
So you're seeing Lopez, and saw that towards the end of game 1 and now in game 2, 2 mistakes here. When she gets pulled wide on the backhand, she's trying to reset it, but she's already kind of set her feet. And so the ball gets away from her too much. And so now she's reaching and she's getting off the end of the paddle and she's going into the net. And she's done it like 4 times so far since game 1 and game 2.
That point snaps a 16-0 run by Barr and Fudge dating back to game 1. Right at the feet. Butler able to get a paddle on it, but too hot to handle.
Yeah, they're trying to drop that ball down, but just getting a little too much lift on the drops. I'd almost say, let's drive a couple of balls. Doesn't have to be 100%, but something that's got a little bit of shape on it, and try to get some rhythm and some feel back.
Switch
Butler was expecting the lob. It almost looked like Barr was going to go for the lob, and then she just flips a little dink right there. Butler was already committed mentally to the lob, and now into the net.
It's too much from Barr. So much pressure at the kitchen line.
But that right there, that's a tough speed up. There's not enough pace on it to really put pressure on, and it becomes, you know, a cross court speed up as well, straight into the two-hand of Barr.
Just
Butler's like, of course. Hits the net, just goes on. Whatever.
This happened, and Butler would be frustrated with this because yesterday, when Susanna Barr and Hunter Johnson played against Anderson Scarpa and Ariel Butler, I kid you not, Johnson and Barr had a dozen let cords that went their way. And so right now Butler's like, can we just stop this already? I'm sick and tired of these let cords.
Hey team, we love you all.
Taking a timeout as Barr and Fudge in control of this match. The top seed up 8-1 in game 2 after taking game 1 11-1. Barr and Fudge in their second match of the day. They took down Daria Walczak and Krista Getcheva 8-6 in their first match. This is the third match of the afternoon for Butler and Lopez. They got through 5-4 before taking down Shelby Bates and Heather Nobler 8-8. If there is something that Butler and Lopez can take from this matchup, this is one of the furthest that they've made it into a tournament. It's continuing to build on what they've been able to do so far in the season.
Yeah, I was texting with AB last night. She was asking me, she was like, hey, she's like, what did you see last night from our game, you know, when she played against Hunter Johnson and Susanna Barr? And I kind of gave her back. I'm like, you're playing very well. You're playing patient. I'd like to see her play with a little more power every once in a while. She does have it, and I'd like to see her play and mix that in just a little bit because she does get a little bit too conservative at times. And like right now, she's playing just a little tentative. Like you said,
well,
Chad, drive a couple.
Right now is the time that if you're going to get beat, right now you're getting beat not on your terms, right?
Yeah.
Might as well set the terms, take some opportunities, take some chances, try to put a little pressure on, change momentum. But if you're allowing Fudge and Barr to dictate the pace of play and move that ball around, they're way too comfortable right now.
9-1-1.
Very little pressure put on Barr and Fudge here in this quarterfinal match.
Second serve.
Second serve on the way. Still 9-1-2 in favor of the top seed.
9-1-2.
Textbook from Barr and Fudge.
I mean, she's going over the left shoulder. She's going left shoulder of both players. She's going corner to corner.
Match point. Off the tape and a clinical 11-1, 11-1 win for the top seed Susanna Barr and Megan Fudge over Ariel Butler and Carolina Lopez Ascarate. We will hear from the top seeds when we come back here at the Chase APP Miami Pickleball Open.
Need to sell tickets for an event? From Sports Illustrated's official ticketing platform, introducing Box Office. Manage ticketing for sports, festivals, fundraisers, and more, paid or free. And we go beyond the barcode. Introducing Super Ticket. Super Tickets are secured by blockchain technology and transform into exclusive digital content, promotions, and rewards between the event and guests. Cheaper, better, simpler, more secure. Sports Illustrated Tickets. Partner with us for your next event.
APP is sponsored by Gamma. Play to live, live to play. Skechers Pickleball. Experience comfort that performs. And Humana, official healthcare partner of the APP Tour.
And it's the 1 seed, Megan Fudge and Susanna Barr, moving on to the semifinals. Textbook win for them, going 1-1. Tested it all. Lob, cross court, set up through the middle. A very comfortable win for them. And that's where Fudge and Barr just make you play one more ball and then step in and control it. And we're going to throw it down to Dominic Catalano, who's courtside with our Franklin post-match interview.
All right, Susanna, first I'll start with you. I told you guys off camera, we were talking in the booth. It seemed like a business trip for you guys that match. It was all business. Was that the game plan going in?
Yeah, I mean, we knew they wanted a lot of pace, and so our goal was just to cut down on our errors and stay strong for the whole match.
And like Susanna said, slowing them down, kind of dinking, elongated points. It seemed like you guys had a lot of success in that. Was that what you were looking for there, Megan?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think we were really smart with our third shots, just kind of choosing our spots wisely. But when the ball was up, we went after our attacks and set each other up really nicely. So it helps when you have a partner that you kind of know a little bit.
All right, well, congratulations, ladies. The 1 seed moving on to the semifinals. We'll take a quick break, and we'll have our first men's semifinal here at the Chase APP Miami Pickleball Open.